All right, 11.1, just kind of getting to know three-dimensional figures and how to name them. Remember, you name them by their base. If they have triangular faces, then they're pyramids. If they have rectangular faces, then they're prisms. So remember that. So when we look at question number 1, there is 2 triangles, but there's only 2 triangles. That doesn't make it a pyramid, because in order for it to be a pyramid, there would only have to be 1 base. And you can see that this is made up of 3 rectangles and 2 triangles. So we have 3 rectangles and 2 triangles. So there's no way that that could be a pyramid. A pyramid would have only like 1 rectangle. So this is for sure a prism. And when you look at it, because remember, in order for it to be a prism, you have to have 2 of something. 2 of something are triangles, which makes this a triangular prism. And then you're going to go ahead and name the bases, the faces, the edges, and the vertices. Okay? The bases, remember, is what you have 2 of. In this case, it's a triangle. So all you're doing is saying, all right, base 1 is triangle FHG. And then base 2 is the triangle on the bottom. Then the faces are the 3 rectangles, and you just name them by their letters. So the first one would be like HGKL, and then you would have 3 more. Your edges, remember, go from point to point. So remember how we said to figure out how many edges you have. If you think about it, you have 3 edges on the triangle. Then each triangle, there's 2 of them, would mean I would have 3 edges on one triangle, 3 edges on the other triangle. And then you have 3 rectangles, so 3 that are going to have 4 edges on it, so 12. You can sit there and count them all, but just make sure you don't forget them. So edges would be like FH, remember you put that line segment on the top, HG, and GF. That's the first triangle. Then you go ahead and list the next triangle, okay? And then you list the 4 sides on 3 of those rectangles. So there's a lot to list. So it's kind of a pain to do the edges. You'll need more room than just 1 line. Vertices, easiest, it's the points. So it's just you listing out all of the letters like H, G, K, and so on. Okay? So make sure you're careful counting those. You know, there's a strategy to look at it and figure it out exactly. So I just want you to study them and get to know them. So that's 1 through 4. Then we get to question number 5, 6, 7, and 8. So what I want to make sure that you have an understanding of is what is a skew line. So remember, when you have a skew line, it can't connect. It can't be parallel to or intersecting. So remember that. It can't be parallel to or intersecting another line. So like it can't be this and this, and it can't be this and this because they're touching a point. So it has to be completely separated. So it says in question number 5, it says identify the diagonal. Well, the diagonal is what just goes from 1 point down through the figure to another point. Then it asks you to find something skew to LQ. So if this is LQ in the back, you can't pick any side that's connected to either one of those points, okay? And you can't be parallel to it. So you have to find something completely out of the ordinary, which would be like this line right here, JK, because it's not intersecting it and it's not parallel to it. So remember that for skew. Intersecting means they share a point. Parallel means, see how they're parallel to each other? These are parallel to each other. And skew means they're not intersecting. Let me write the word out. Skew is not intersecting, and it's not parallel. Okay, so make sure you're careful when you do your skew. Good luck. Check your answers, of course. Show your work. Be neat, be organized. This is our last chapter with the geometry of three-dimensional figures. So do your absolute best on this work because it can be a little bit challenging, but embrace that challenge.